This one is like a Russian roulette game. I wonder how many of you can pass this loyalty test. Let's see how it goes. We are the book of Numbers, chapter 5, verse 5 to 31. And it reads, this is the laws regarding restitution, law regarding jealousy, the test of bitter water. Verse 5, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, when a man or woman shall commit any sin that men commit, to do a trespass against the Lord, and that person be guilty, then they shall confess their sin which they have done, and he shall recompense his trespass with the principal thereof, and add unto it the fifth part thereof, and give it unto him against whom he hath trespassed. But if the man have no kinsman to recompense the trespass unto, let the trespass be recompensed unto the Lord, even to the priest, beside the ram of the atonement, whereby an atonement shall be made for him, and every offering over all the holy things of the children of Israel, which they bring unto the priest, shall be his. And every man's hallowed thing shall be his, whosoever any man giveth the priest, it shall be his. Verse 11, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, if any man's wife go aside and commit a trespass against him, and a man lie with her carnally, and it be hid from the eyes of her husband, and be kept close, and she be defiled, and there be no witness against her, neither she be taken with the man, and the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be defiled, or if the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be not defiled, then shall the man bring his wife unto the priest, and he shall bring her offering for her, the 10th part of an ephah of barley meal. He shall pour no oil upon it, nor put frankincense thereon, for it is an offering of jealousy, an offering of memorial, bringing iniquity to remembrance. This section between this section between 11 and 15, verse 11 and 15, you see, there are a lot of ifs in many relationships right now, in 2025, in this time, in this year, in this current society of this year, of these times, of these ages. There are a lot of infidelity, okay, and men are often spooked, and they can smell it from the wives, and vice versa. So the thing is in the air, and one can sense it very fast because of how modern things are in the society today. And here we are going to be given a very nice description where there's a law regarding restitution, there's a law regarding jealousy, and when we reach in the book of Numbers, we will partake of it and explain it further and see the difference between this part of the Old Testament and what is refined in the New Testament. But in a nutshell, so here there's a law given, but you will see the direction it's going is, yes, someone has suspected infidelity. The direction it's going is to the priest and to the tabernacle, and there's the offerings and sacrifices which are done. Now, in these times, that doesn't happen. Although you can go and confess, and talk to it to your church leaders and all that, and they can help you, restore your setup of marriage, etc. But the thing will not include the pouring of blood anyhow, because there's the aspect now of Jesus Christ, okay, and the forgiveness of sins, and the aspect of salvation, and the aspect of deliverance, and the aspect of facing Jesus Christ and that part. So that one replaces this other aspect of a lot of blood sacrifices. Okay, so let's see. Hence, there is now this part which we are. I'm referring to the to the game that is called the Russian roulette. And why am I doing it? And because it's called the test of bitter water. Both parties go into this test. And woe unto the one who will fail it. Because there's no coming back, technically, realistically. So let's see whether if this were done unto you, you could pass. Verse 16. And the priest shall bring her near and set her before the Lord. And the priest shall take holy water in an earthen vessel, and of the dust that is in the floor of the tabernacle the priest shall take and put it into the water. I want to pose a question here, and I'm not that much conversant with the traditional practices in the African communities, historically speaking. But I would like to hear, from you, from your viewers. In this age, we are calling it commenting in the section, but in whichever time, just have this discussion in that section, and let us know whether this activity happened or used to happen in your communities traditionally in the past. Because this one is in the barricades, or rather the arena of the time of Moses. So let's proceed, verse 17. And the priest shall take holy water in an earthen vessel, and of the dust that is in the floor of the tabernacle the priest shall take and put it into the water. And the priest shall set the woman before the Lord, and uncover the woman's head, and put the offering of memorial in her hands, which is the jealousy offering. And the priest shall have in his hand the bitter water that causeth the curse. And the priest shall charge her by an oath. I hope you understand where the bitter water comes from. From the holy water and the dust. Now it's becoming bitter. Verse 19. And the priest shall charge her by an oath. And the priest shall charge her by an oath, and say unto the woman, If no man have lain with thee, and if thou hast not gone aside to uncleanness with another instead of thy husband, be thou free from this bitter water that causeth the curse. But if thou hast gone aside to another instead of thy husband, and if thou be defiled, and some man have lain with thee beside thine husband, then, you see there's an if then, it's quite program of this one. Then the priest shall charge the woman with an oath of cursing, and the priest shall say unto the woman, The Lord make thee a curse and an oath among thy people, when the Lord doth make thy thigh to rot and thy belly to swell. I will repeat that again, verse 21. Or verse 20, I'll repeat verse 20 again. But if thou hast gone aside to another instead of thy husband, and if thou be defiled, and some man have lain with thee beside thine husband, then the priest shall charge the woman with an oath of cursing, and the priest shall say unto the woman, The Lord make thee a curse and an oath among thy people, when the Lord doth make thy thigh to rot and thy belly to swell, and this water that causeth the curse shall go into thy bowels, to make thy belly to swell and thy thigh to rot. And the woman shall say, Amen, Amen, agreeing to the oath. Verse 23. And the priest shall write these curses in a book, and he shall blot them out with the bitter water. The activities here of the priests are quite, there's a term, ritualistic, okay? Because these are spiritual matters. Spiritual. There's a ritual involved. Verse 23. And the priest shall write these curses in a book, and he shall blot them out with the bitter water. Then see what happens next. And he shall cause the woman to drink the bitter water that causeth the curse. And the bitter water that causeth the curse shall enter into her and become bitter. Then the priest shall take the jealousy offering out of the woman's hand and shall wave the offering before the Lord and offer it upon the altar. We are continuing, don't worry. I just wondering, back when I was in high school, there were very interesting stories where people would transnight just to read for exams. And there are those kind of fellow folk who would not have enough time to study, so there were rumors of people taking notes, like in booklets, notes, and mixing them with water and taking the juice. I wonder whether this is where they got the idea from. But it was a ritual in its own perspective. Verse 26, and the priest shall take an handful of the offering, even the memorial thereof, and burn it upon the altar. And afterward shall cause the woman to drink the water. And when he hath made her to drink the water, then it shall come to pass that if she be defiled and have done trespass against her husband, that the water that causeth the curse shall enter into her, and become bitter, and her belly shall swell, and her thigh shall rot, and the woman shall be a curse among her people. And if the woman be not defiled, but be clean, then she shall be free, and shall conceive seed. See how powerful that ritual is, and that activity of the priest, because it entails tying the womb, and then tying the womb, on and off switch. All right. Verse 29, this is the law of jealousies, when a wife goeth aside to another instead of her husband, and is defiled. Or when the spirit of jealousy cometh upon him, and he be jealous over his wife, and shall set the woman before the Lord, and the priest shall execute upon her all this law. Then shall the man be guiltless from iniquity, and this woman shall bear her iniquity. It's as simple as that, self-explanatory. Now, in this age, Jesus Christ has come. There are no priests to do this, but the activity happens in the spirit directly. It's now between you and God. Okay, so the more you do it, the more harm you're causing it to yourself. This is addressing the aspect of people who partake in infidelity, and this is the bit of this part of the series which are called fornication and adultery mixed together. In simple sense, you are married, one is jumping out and coming back, then one is jumping out, coming back, jumping out, coming back, that kind of thing. It becomes very, 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 very interesting. It's quite sad, eh? Right. So, if this is you, please consider changing for the better, and we pray for the grace of God upon your life. Let's look at Numbers verse 4. It's Numbers chapter 14, verse 26 to 37. Let's see what's there. Numbers chapter 14, verse 26 to 37. Numbers chapter 14, Numbers chapter 14, Numbers chapter 14, verse 36 to 37. Verse 26 to 37, sorry. This is God's punishment on Israel. So, whatever God is doing to people who are sinning this particular sin and overriding this particular commandment befalls everyone who partakes of it. Need to get that straight, right? So listen to this. Numbers chapter 14, verse 26 to 37. And the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying, how long shall I bear with this evil congregation? This is the same way God is speaking to you today. How long shall I bear with this evil congregation, which murmur against me? I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel, which they murmur against me. Say unto them, as truly as I live, saith the Lord, as ye have spoken in mine ears, so will I do to you. Your carcasses shall fall in this wilderness, and all that were numbered of you, according to your whole number, from 20 years old and upward, which have murmured against me. Doubtless ye shall not come into the land concerning which I swear to make you dwell therein, save Caleb the son of Jephunneh, and Joshua the son of Nun. But your little ones, which ye said should be a prey, them will I bring in, and they shall know the land which ye have despised. But as for you, your carcasses, they shall fall in this wilderness. And your children shall wander in the wilderness 40 years, and bear your whoredoms until your carcasses be wasted in the wilderness. This is the most tragic part. Verse 33. And your children shall wander in the wilderness 40 years, and do what? And bear your whoredoms until your carcasses be wasted in the wilderness. I hope you got that right. I really don't need to dissect this and explain it further, and it's as straightforward as that. You do this, there's a consequence that comes. Okay? And the consequence is as simple as what that verse says. It's as simple as that. Okay? Whatever you do today affects your children. So think about that too. Verse 34. After the number of the days in which ye searched the land, even 40 days, each day for a year, shall ye bear your iniquities, even 40 years. And ye shall know my breach of promise. I, the Lord, have said, I will surely do it unto all this evil congregation that are gathered together against me. In this wilderness they shall be consumed, and there they shall die. And the men which Moses sent to search the land, who returned and made all the congregation to murmur against him, by bringing up a slander upon the land, even those men that did bring up the evil report upon the land, died by the plague before the Lord. Okay? That bit is quite self-explanatory, and when we reach there, then you'll get the whole context and the whole picture, right? Good. Let's proceed. Let's see what we'll have in Numbers chapter 25, verse 1 to 18. Just going to pick some things that will give you light and see where you fall, what applies to you, which verses apply to you. Then think about them and see where to change. And when you reach that turning point, then God will meet you halfway. I'm very, very happy with you. Okay. Numbers chapter 24, chapter 25, verse 1 to 18. Numbers chapter 25, verse 1 to 18. Verse 1 to 18. Numbers chapter 25. Numbers chapter 25, verse 1 to 18. This is a story of Israel worshipping Baal, Peor, God's wrath and plague, God's approval of Phinehas, Israel to smiting the Midianites. Okay? The whole chapter. And we look into it and we see what we can pick from that. But before I do that, I'm reminded of a story, an event that happened, and I had it. And the story is about a cab driver. The cab driver it's in the evening, and he picks a couple, a man and a wife, and he takes them home. Okay, and immediately he takes them home. The wife decides to freshen up and leave the man watching the news and catching up with the day and unwinding, and just takes about an hour to run a small errand. And the same cab driver, even a few minutes that do not pass, the lady requests of the same driver not to leave and to carry her again to another destination, where she goes and meets another man, and she does her business For all of you grown-ups who you understand what I mean. And the one she finishes, the same cab driver takes her back to her husband. And the cab driver witnesses these things. But now the husband does not know. And now what happens in this situation? The lady comes with extra spirits. One, the lady gives more problems to the children and the family. Because God now moves away from that home and becomes a home of chaos. So the family is now bound in extra foundational problems. For those who are spiritual, you understand what I mean. Now, that's why when I'm teaching this, I insist for the men who are married, be upright of the spirit, grow in spirit, grow in the Bible, be closer to God, so you can be the light in your house, so that you can be able to have that perimeter wall, like the one Job had in the first book of Job, first chapter of Job. Okay, and that way you are more alert and you're able to give guidance to everyone in your household. And that's why I'm doing this very specific verses, so to cater for each one of the specific, to be customized and tailor-made to your situation, so you can identify which one you want, which one applies to you, and fix your issues and turn to God. Okay. Genesis, Numbers. I'm so used to reading the book of Genesis. Numbers chapter. I think I have more 30 minutes. Numbers chapter 25, verse 1 to 18. And Israel abode in Shittim, and the people began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab. I Lord. And they called the people unto the sacrifices of their gods, and the people did eat and bowed down to their gods. Spiritual whoredom. And Israel joined himself into Baal Peor, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel. Things that make God angry are such. And it applies to you, please. Don't make God angry. Verse 4. And the Lord said unto Moses, take all the heads of the people and hang them up before the Lord against the sun, that the fierce anger of the Lord may be turned away from Israel. And Moses said unto the judges of Israel, slay ye every one his men that were joined unto Baal Peor. And behold, one of the children of Israel came and brought unto his brethren a Midianitish woman in the sight of Moses, and in the sight of all the congregation, all of the children of Israel, who are weeping before the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before God. And when Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, quite delivered this one, saw it, he rose up from among the congregation and took a javelin in his hand. What did he do with this javelin? And he went after the man of Israel into the tent and thrust both of them through, the man of Israel and the woman through her belly. So the plague was stayed from the children of Israel. That is very important. And those that died in the plague were 20 and 4,000. So the plague was stayed from the children of Israel. See, committing sin, you will hear all manner of definitions of sin. People saying it is cosine, crazy, all the conspiracy theories about God. But if you are, I'm digressing a bit, but work with me, or rather hold the line, or stay with me now. You will hear many definitions of the word sin, and that it is not the sin, or sin being called sin is cosine, is a line doing what. But I ask a simple question. We are in Africa. I'm in Kenya, and I'm of the tribe of Kikuyu. Okay, Bible was translated to us in both Swahili, Kikuyu, and and there are many other languages. Okay, so if you understand the word sin in English, then it doesn't become the word sin in Kikuyu or Swahili. Or in Malagasy, is that the one they call it, or in Hebrew, the word is different, but it means the same thing. You understand? So that's what I want to say. Now that you understand what I'm saying in terms of sin, the minute you commit sin, it's like you have unveiled yourself and put a mark on your back, a target. You know the way they are snipers, in the military, and then there's that target light of red light on your back, dot light. So the minute you commit sin, the minute you turn that light on, and remember the devil is controlled, or rather is given authority to attack from God, as you can see in the cases of Job. Okay. So what happens to you? Moses will not come and call the elders to kill you. This one now God does it personally. This is the age of Jesus Christ. This is the age of the Spirit, the Holy Spirit. So once He leaves you, then you are free to be hunted by the elements of the devil, and they will hunt you very, very quick. Take for instance a rich man. For those of you who are in Nairobi, I'll use that example. I've never been in the United States and all the other places, but here we have a capital city called Nairobi. So if you have a rich politician in Nairobi, or whomever who is rich, is fine. Just give me an example. Living in a very nice estate, very nice salary, very nice family, blessed, and then swayed by money and swayed by the element of adultery, and goes and has a one-night affair with a woman who is not the wife, and multiplies, or has a concubine on the side and continues it. The day that man will decide to take the car and drive, or even go from point A to point B, that's the day when the accident will come. The day when the man will take the flight, that's the day when the health crisis will strike. The day he will sleep alone, that's the day he will stop breathing. So God will always have a nice way to get you. It's like that sniper effect. You will look for a nice, perfect place now to take you out, and then you will die. So you really need to check your life, put everything in check, and turn your ways, turn yourself to God, have that good relationship, and stop sinning. That's the whole message I'm trying to teach you. So that's the thing. So let's proceed and see what happens. So this guy called Phineas, okay, does a marvelous thing. He knows that the whole land will be tied because of one person who is already sinning in a heart or in this place. And he goes and takes the javelin and kills these two people to avert the wrath of God. Okay? Because sinning is a dangerous thing. And the problem we are having is that people don't know whether they are even sinning. You understand? Verse 10. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, had turned my wrath away from the children of Israel, while he was zealous for my sake among them, that I consume not the children of Israel in my jealousy. See now, this is what I am. I am praying. I'm playing the role of Phinehas here. I'm taking this javelin, okay, and I want to put it through all the sin that you're committing, okay, and these words are the javelin to give you that awareness so that you can kill these spirits, these habits that you are doing, so that you can turn and we can avenge. Is it avenge, or we can prove zealous of the love of God? We can take the side of God in that particular matter. Please think about it, okay? And I'm expecting less and less and less of people, because when the further I'm going, this is part 5, I think. This is part 5. The further I'm going down to part 6, 7, 8, the less I'm expecting to find the crowd watching the clips. Why? Because it is not even easy for you to reach part 5. The devil will not allow you to learn of the many sins that you're committing. So for those of you who are making it this far, it's a congratulations. It's quite it's a medal affair, You will always be very busy. You will lose internet. Something will happen and deter you, keep you obstructed from learning what you're doing wrong. So let's proceed and see what happens to Phinehas, because that's you today. Wherefore say, behold, I give unto him my covenant of peace, and he shall have it, and his seed after him, even the covenant of an everlasting priesthood, because he was zealous for his God and made an atonement for the children of Israel. Now the name of the Israelite that was slain, even that was slain with the Midianitish woman, was Zimri, the son of Salu, a prince of a chief house among the Simeonites. And the name of the Midianitish woman that was slain was Cosbi, the daughter of Zur. He was head over a people and of a chief house in Midian. The word Cosbi is Cozbi. Okay. Verse 16, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, vex the Midianites, and smite them, for they vex you with their wiles, wherewith they have beguiled you in the matter of Peor, and in the matter of Cosbi, the daughter of a prince of Midian, their sister, which was slain in the day of the plague for Peor's sake. So, that part of 16 to 18, it mirrors the aspects of the New Testament of those who are becoming stumbling blocks to children of God, as I had taught in the past part of these videos. Causing people to stumble, causing people to sin has consequences. Are you dressing in a way that is provoking other men to sin? Are you dressing in a way that is provoking other women to sin? Are you performing acts or dressing or doing things that are making young people to sin, to be moral? Are you exposing young people to pornography, such things? Are you teaching your children the wrong things? Are you exposing them to wrong content online? Are you publishing wrong content online? God will come and he will vex you to his people, and you will have no peace. Okay? You will lose everything, I assure you. Mark this date and time as per the readings of Numbers chapter 25, verse 16 to 18. It applies to you. And I want to commend those communities. I'm not conversant to why they do it, but the communities who have their women wear long clothes and the cover, we call them buibui, like they cover the whole body from the head to the, so you can only see the eyes of the lady, but you will never see the feminine features of the lady, and you will never have the thoughts to even imagine how the lady looks because you can't even see the face. Okay, I do hope, I'm not conversant, but I know it's Muslim. I am not conversant that much, so I can't really comment much about it. But I do hope that it is I don't know whether it is a way of protecting the women from being hit on by other men, or protecting. I don't know whether the women are married or, but technically speaking, such a woman cannot cause another man to fall sexually. I assure you. And even if they cover up to here, it's a good thing. Why? Because God sees that you are trying to hide and to preserve, your dignity, so that you can't cause a child to fall into sin, and the sin of adultery. Okay? And even better, if they cover themselves and only take the veils in the presence of their husbands at home, alone, not in front of the children. Okay? Even much better that way. But of course, we can't have the whole population of the planet wearing these things because of many traditions and societies. But all I am advocating for is decent dressing. Don't go to church exposing your body. Don't do that. You might think you are hunting for a man, and if the way I know it, men who are looking to marry don't marry such women, because the first thing they ask is that if she's doing this in public, then she's gathering all kind of men. Okay, be decent. Don't do it in church. That's the most dangerous place you can even start doing it. So dress decently. You better repeat one cloth forever, but please don't cause another to stumble in that perspective. Don't do it. And for the people in those pulpits, in those teaching this word, don't allow it. Advise your congregants to dress properly. Be aware of the words in the Bible. Do not ignore them, because they exist and they were written for that particular purpose. Let's proceed. I have 20 minutes. Let's proceed to Deuteronomy chapter 5 verse 18. Let's see what is there. Let's see whether I can pick something good for you. So I'm on part 5. If I cover Deuteronomy today, that's part 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is quite a long series. If I get good equipment, then we'll be able to do more hours. Deuteronomy chapter 5 verse 18. But again, some verses are quite few with less commentaries in them. Neither shalt thou commit adultery. Deuteronomy chapter 22 verse 22 to 30. Deuteronomy chapter 22. Deuteronomy chapter 22 verse 22 to 30. Deuteronomy chapter 22 verse 22 to 30. Laws against sexual immorality. Listen. If a man be found lying with a woman married to an husband, then they shall both of them die. Funny enough, I recently saw news where 2 people were caught dead, and they were actually cheating on each other with each other. Like, this man is married elsewhere, the woman is married elsewhere. So this is a by fornication. So all of them were lying instead at the mortuary. Whoever killed them, we don't know. If a man be found lying with a woman married to an husband, then they shall both of them die. Both the man that lay with the woman and the woman, so shall thou put away evil from Israel. Okay? Thank God for Jesus Christ. Thank Jesus Christ for Jesus Christ. If a damsel that is of verse 23, if a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed unto an husband, and a man find her in the city and lie with her, then ye shall bring them both out unto the gate of that city, and ye shall stone them with stones that they die. The damsel because she cried not, being in the city, and the man because he had humbled his neighbor's wife. So thou shalt put away evil from you among you. But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man force her, and lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die. That's what I'm calling rape. It's a very nice example of rape case, where the other one was a bit fornication and adultery, which is affecting both parties. But unto the damsel thou shalt, verse 26, but unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. For as when a man riseth against his neighbor and slayeth him, even so is this matter. For he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried for help, and there was none to save her. If a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, and lay hold on her, and lie with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her. He may not put her away all his days. A man shall not take his father's wife, nor discover his father's cut. That's just gross. But verse 29 reminds us of the event where the daughter of Judah? No, the daughter of Jacob ben Zilpah. The lady was called Dinah, and the guy called Shechem. Okay, that's way back in the book of Genesis. So that's pretty much giving you examples of what used to happen. Okay, let's look at Deuteronomy chapter 31. Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 14 to 18. Deuteronomy chapter 31. These parts are very nice before we enter Judges, where now we are all in this age. This is now applied mathematics, or rather applied sin. You'll get examples of the same. These were rules being set. So now the law is being applied from Judges onwards. So between Genesis and Deuteronomy, okay, you have the laws being defined. But now after Judges going forward, the laws are being applied. Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 14 to 18. Deuteronomy chapter 31. Deuteronomy chapter 31. Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 14 to 18. Moses and Joshua appear before God. 31 verse 14 to 18. And the Lord said unto Moses, Behold, thy days approach that thou must die. Call Joshua, and present yourselves in the tabernacle of the congregation, that I may give him a charge, authority. And Moses and Joshua went and presented themselves in the tabernacle of the congregation. And the Lord appeared in the tabernacle in the pillar of a cloud, and the pillar of the cloud stood over the door of the tabernacle. And the Lord said unto Moses, Behold, thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, and these people will rise up and go a-whoring after the gods of the strangers of the land, whither they go to be among them, and will forsake me and break my covenant which I have made with them. See, you have no choice other than to believe in God, in Jesus Christ. Calling Moses and Joshua in his presence, he already knows what these people will do in the future. So this one is defining the whole Bible up to the birth of Jesus Christ, and thereafter, that particular verse. Okay? But there's a way you can change that history and that future if you just decide to turn to God today. When you do it like that, then you rewrite your future. Because here Joshua is being told exactly what these people will do, and that's what they do. And the Lord said unto Moses, Behold, thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, and these people will rise up and go a whoring after the gods of the strangers of land, whither they go to be among them, and will forsake me and break my covenant which I have made with them. Then my anger shall be kindled against them in that day, and I will forsake them, and I will hide my face from them, and they shall be devoured. And many evils and troubles. Now, verse 17, then my anger shall be kindled against them in that day, and I will forsake them, and I will hide my face from them, and they shall be devoured, and many evils and troubles shall befall them, so that they will say in that day, are not these evils come upon us, because our God is not among us? And I will surely hide my face in that day for all the evils which they shall have wrought, in that they are turned unto other gods. So that is what happens. If you ask yourself, what happens if I don't believe in God? What happens if I don't change today? Because there are those of you are already turning. Volvora, moving with motion very nicely, cruising in our speed, doing 120 on that lane of adultery. And it's very addictive. But there's a consequence. And what is the consequence? If you don't do it right now, this is what will happen to you. Verse 17, then my anger shall be kindled against them in that day, and I will forsake them, and I will hide my face from them. God's anger will be kindled against you. God will forsake you. God will hide his face from you. You shall be devoured, and many evils, trouble shall befall you. So that on that day they will say, or you will say, are these not the evils that come upon us, because God is not among you? And God will surely hide his face on that day for all the evils which you shall have wrought, in that you have turned unto other gods. Small cause of prostitution, small demons of prostitution, adultery, LGBTQ plus, rape, incest, fornication, all those things. And God leaves. And then you become alone, enjoying pure evil. May God help you all. Now, the next phase is the part 6 of this video. And from part 6, we are going to see applied laws. These are laws applied. It's like applied mathematics. Okay? Be strong and make that decision for your own sake, and for the sake of your family, both horizontal and vertical. Okay? All right. See you on the next one.